maybe a couple of times a month, just to say hi, how you doing, how you getting along and the whole bit. But as far as a true friend, he was a true friend. And he worked for me until he got to the point where he just couldn't work no more. It was too much for him. His lungs and everything would fill up and he'd get out of breath. And it was really hard for him, but he said, I'm not worried, Miss Dotson, because I know you're a nurse and you'll take care of me. I said, but I'm not a doctor, though. I'm a nurse and I'm not a doctor. But up until the end, he was right there with me until he just couldn't wait no longer. And I am 82 years old, and he took care of me and got me through a whole lot of bad times. And he's going to be missed. He's one guy that's going to really be missed in my life. And honey, you going to sing a song? My friend here would like to sing a song for me, for Alfonso. Okay, if everybody will agree. Everybody agree? Yeah. All right. This is Nat Bolden.
Thank God for being here and through Ms. Dotson. He was a man of God, so of all of us. And I just want to say the few words in a song that he probably would say if he's here. I have heard so much of Jesus. He is a man of Galilee. How he lived his home in glory just to set sinner free. So I decided that I would follow in his footsteps all the way. Yes, I must see Jesus for myself someday. I must see Jesus for myself someday.
If there's anyone else, family members, would like to say, just keep it brief, but my dad appreciated all you guys. He rode lumpia for half this church. And here you go, sister.
I just want to thank God for just saving my dad, because I've been here for 12 years, and I remember coming by myself and just praying for my dad and my mom to get saved. And after my mom passed away, my dad was coming to church for a while, but then he went astray. But I believe that him being sick, God brought him back in. But the dude was a funny guy. Me and him, we argued all the time. And I always wonder, I said, man, Lord, why do we fight so much? It's because we're alike. We're so much alike. And I look just like my mom, so we'd argue all the time. So I know that's why I probably reminded him of my mom. But it was funny because I moved out, 5 years ago from my dad's house. And he would always cook Filipino food or adobo or pancit, and I wouldn't like eating it because he'd always cook it. And he would call me, but he would have his fake Filipino voice. Oh, you the American-born one. I said, he would just, oh, you American-born, you don't like to eat. And I said, oh my God. I said, why do you have a Filipino accent when you don't even have an accent? And he would just talk. And then, because he was raised, in box track, he was ghetto, so he would talk like he would see his friends, he'd be like, oh, what's up? So those of you guys that knew my dad, he was funny. He'd clown Sam, and we'd get together. We were like the Filipino Wayans family because we would clown each other, and Sam would be talking about my dad's toe, or Vicky would be talking about him, or just funny and making each other laugh. We didn't have much growing up, but all we had was each other. And I'm just gonna miss him because he loved his grandkids, Cheyenne, Sante, Nikki, Hopi, my kids. I'm gonna miss him because he was my babysitter. No, I mean not in a bad way. No, don't take it like that. But I would say, Dad. I said, okay, Dad, let's go to Walmart. And then he would watch my kids while I go get my stuff. Or, come on, Dad, let's go eat. So he'd go take me somewhere. That was during the day. I'm a stay-at-home mom, so I had nothing else to do and just go to my dad's house. And I wanted to be his care provider because of that's what we had in common. I'm a healthcare provider. And I couldn't become his care provider because they said he wasn't sick enough. So that was a year ago, and I was like, dude's in the hospital like almost all the time, but they said he couldn't get me. But he said, I go, I don't want to work for you, Dad, because man, you're working me like your slave. He said, yep, I'm gonna be your boss. I'm gonna be your boss. I'm gonna sign your check. And I was like, oh. So those things I remember about my dad, and what I'm gonna miss too, because I normally sit right there at church, and he would sit behind me. And last week when we had fasting, I missed just turning around just to see my dad, and for him to just raise his hands, man, he used to chase us with rocks and hangers. so amen to that. But he got saved. He was still grouchy, but he was saved. And even for Christmas, oh my God, he was at the house and he was so grouchy, and I was all, Dad, what's wrong with you? I go, you need a girlfriend. And he's, I don't need no girlfriend. And I was all, oh my goodness, but I'm gonna miss just him being around, just being the funny guy that he was, and being just like a smart aleck too, and just him being around at church. And if anybody else wants to say anything, here you go.
Until we get some a little more testimony, I just want to stress for anybody on Facebook and they saw my dad's picture on there. I want to tell you the quick story. My dad, he did a lot of stuff. He was my cameraman on my last movie. He was my actor. He was my, this is just my excuse to get the Bible back. He was my producer. He was the production assistant, caterer, driver. We had podcasts where we do movie reviews, okay? We do movie reviews, and he would say, I give this movie 3 thumbs up. And I said, 3 thumbs up where? And I go, and he has like 100 hits on that thing. If anybody else, feel free, something brief, but come up, and if any memories, we, how are we doing on time, Pastor? Are we? Almost? Okay. Pastor Art said you got to hurry up. No, I'll play. But Bobby, okay, just line up. Just something real, 30 seconds, something.
Okay. I just want to say about Brother Alfonso, I had met him, and me and Fred and Alfonso, we worked together at this convalescent hospital. And we met Alfonso there. He worked in the kitchen area. And as soon as I met him, the very first day I met him, he just started joking and making me laugh and everything. And my husband and I were witnessing to him and to all the people in that little convalescent home. And every time he would take a break, he'd go out there and say something funny to me while we were out there working, Fred and I. And, we were telling people about the Lord there, and the boss had to come and tell us not to be saying anything about the Lord.